going to be all relics from The Legend of Spyro, The Eternal Night, done by Mike. I'm going to pass it over to him, and best of luck to the runner.
Thank you very much. Welcome, everyone. Today I'm going to be showing you guys the best Spyro game that you haven't played yet. The Legend of Spyro, The Eternal Night on Game Boy Advance. Surprisingly in-depth and super fun, like, beat-em-up platformer. Today we're going to be doing, like, the better version of 100%. I'll get into what all that means at the start. So if we are ready on the time, I will give us a countdown. As mentioned in the category name, we're going to be playing on Dark difficulty. So we will start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. So let's start off with this definition of dark, because a few of you might have not have played Spyro The Eternal Night before, and you might be wondering why Spyro is like this darkish purple as opposed to his regular like super light purple. This game has 2 difficulties when you first start the game. An easy mode and a normal mode, which really don't differ by much. A hard difficulty, which is tough as nails, that's only unlocked by defeating either easy or normal ones. And then, for those who manage to beat hard difficulty, you unlock dark difficulty, which is a form that Spyro normally only takes during the final boss. However, we can use it for the entirety of the playthrough. So that's what the dark means. As for the all relics, in this game, Spyro has a variety of permanent power-ups he can gain, in the form of these dragon relics that you've been seeing me pick up a few as we go along the tutorial here. In total, there's about 43 to collect across the run, varying from very important things like being able to attack and breathe fire and all that fun stuff, and also a lot of optional ones like increased health, increased magic meter, and a few things like that. So the goal of this run is going to be collect all of the dragon relics whilst playing as Dark Spyro here. Unfortunately, that guy went flying there. I ideally want to get him as close as I can to the side there, because Spyro's going to walk there anyway. So here we are in the Hall of Fang and Claw. So I want to get a 15-hit combo in this guy. Perfect. That's going to open these 3 doors here. Normally, getting a combo can be quite tough, but because we're Dark Spyro, we have a lot of overpowered movement. Our general walk speed is as fast as normal running speed. We start the game with this super overpowered breath attack, which is like the fire breath, except significantly more powerful and with a lot less cooldown to it. Dark Spyro also has infinite health and infinite stamina, so we don't really need to worry about taking many hits. More so, we need to worry about the time lost from being knocked back. But we're starting off with a tutorial area here. The tutorial is kind of long, it's about 5 minutes or so. So all the relics are pretty much mandatory up to this point, with the exception of the ones you saw in the Hall of Fang and Claw. And here we're going to be picking up some movement-related ones. We're meant to go over to the right here to get through a door, but we need to come over here to get the run attack. Run doesn't actually make us go any faster in Dark difficulty, but it does mean we can break through things like doors, which is really important. And we also got the wall jump there. Even though the run is the same speed as our walk, it actually has different properties, such as allows us to run through a few enemies such as golems. So even though it's not the fastest way of moving around, and definitely not the most convenient, we will still be using running here and there. And that's also not to say that because we've got the super overpowered breath at the start that we're not going to be using any of the rest. There still is uses a lot for all of the breath attacks in this run, and we'll see them as we come to it. However, we haven't even obtained the first one yet, so... For anyone not familiar with the story of the Legend of Spyro the Eternal Night, neither am I. Spyro just falls asleep every now and then and wakes up in this dream temple. So for anyone who's only ever seen any percent before, here's the first variation. We're going up here now. Get out of the way. I need to watch out for these enemies. There's a section here, which we're meant to use a power much later on to climb up walls to get up there, but you can just wall jump off that wall, and that's an absolutely fine way of getting up there. So there's one of our first power-ups, increased health. Now, as you'll see there, Dark Spyro just taking no damage. It's what makes this run a lot of fun to do compared to easy, because you can just kind of run through everything. Don't need to worry about things too much. So anyway, here's fire. We need the breath power-ups in this game to be able to unlock certain doors and perform certain actions. For example, there is a door here which requires the fire breath. There's a golem there, take him out. Increased energy. And I also always need to be making sure that I do get every single relic in a room before moving over to the next room. Once I've entered this second half of the area, I cannot return to the first half without completely re-entering. This game is also super in-depth, like combat and movement-wise. There's a lot of really sick combos you can do. Unfortunately, we're not going to be seeing much of that in Dark difficulty. However, if you were to take a look at a run like normal or hard mode, you can see some quite interesting movement. Unfortunately got knocked back there when I was trying to jump. But that's everything we can collect for the fire area just here. With a lot of the power-ups as well, we are going to need to do some backtracking a lot later in the run. There's a few doors which we can't enter just yet. For example, there's one more power-up in the Temple of Fire which we just did not have access to. We return to the swamp, same area where we fell asleep. Just for the one power-up there. And continuing on. Dark Spyro is an incredibly powerful character. Not only do we have that incredibly powerful breath attack, but anytime we need to fight enemies in, like, claw combat, Spyro has almost no cooldown on his melee. Anyway, next up, we're heading to the from the swamp to the Ancient Grove. It only houses one power-up, but it's a pain in the butt to get, and I'll explain why. So, I've mentioned before that Spyro cannot take damage. However, damage isn't what we need to worry about in this run. It's these flies, funnily enough. These flies always deal no damage. Even on, like, regular difficulties, they will deal no damage to me. However, their hit knockback is massive. So if a single fly had attacked me there, it would have probably caused me to fall all the way down to the bottom, and I'd have had to climb all the way back up again. Only these guys are, these monkey guys, being real mean to everything around here. Spyro is gonna go fight them. Never mind, Spyro's fallen asleep. Spark's gonna go distract him now. So I am playing on English here. Technically speaking, Dutch is the fastest language. It saves around about a second when mashing optimally. However, I'm just not, because it's easier to check at the end of the run that I did everything. Okay, Earth Temple time. Here we're going to be picking up the second breath. No relics to pick up in the first half of this room just yet. So this is going to be the same kind of route we're taking at 90%. Coming down here, speaking to the Chronicler. Spoilers, that's the Chronicler. We weren't meant to know his name yet, but oh well. So now we've got the Earth Breath. The Earth Breath is really useful for knocking enemies down. And we're also going to be using the wall jump to get through there. Oof. Failed the run attack there. See, running through that guy allows us to get through pretty easily. Gonna drop that there to knock up the golem so that he doesn't have a hitbox, so I can just run straight through him. Swap from here to the like the dark breath. Jump over the guy. My capture is a lot lighter than what I see, so those turtles are actually really hard to see on my display. I could turn the gamma up on my DS, but then it would come up super bright on the capture. So, oh well. Anyway, there's an increased health power up. Like I said, a lot of the time loss when we get hit isn't so much the taking the damage, it's the waiting to stand back up after. There we go, and there's the last of the dragon relics for this area. Up we go to the Earth Elemental. Unfortunately, a lot of these bosses aren't difficult on Dark difficulty. There isn't too much depth to them. We will see some enemies with some proper depth, though, later on, even on Dark difficulty. And if you haven't played this game before, playing this game on normal or hard is a genuine challenge. I would recommend trying it out. It's a lot of fun. Anyway, we are back to the Fire Temple, because we have unfinished business here. Oh, I was not meant to jump off that platform. There we go. So, we need to come back here, because now we have the Earth Breath. And there's a door down here. Luckily, you don't need to finish a level when you have collected a relic, you just need to exit. Right. Once again, returning back to the Ancient Grove. Pretty much where we left off the first time. I only have one thing to pick up here. This section sucks because of all the flies. Luckily, none of them aggroed on me, which is amazing. You never see that happening. Fire breath to get through here. This section sucks on anything but dark difficulty because you can run out of breath really easily in that section. Because you've got to use the earth breath to get through that door. And if you aim it incorrectly, it will ricochet back before hitting the door. This section's fun, gotta watch out for that guy. Breath him really quickly so that he doesn't deal damage. Get through that guy with the iframes. Nope. I hit right, I swear. Anyway, we have a few power-ups to pick up here now. Up here is one of the only power-ups, optional things that we actually would have picked up normally in like an 90% run. This is an increased attack power-up, which just means we do more damage for the melee attacks. Not going to make much of a difference to Dark Spyro, considering we almost exclusively use the Fire Breath attack. Once again, breath that guy as soon as he spawns in so he can't attack us. Nice and easy. This room sucks. This is the room with the egg like the flags. Yes, it takes that many hits. Yes, that's even worse on other difficulties. Anyway, there's our second. We've got one more power-up to pick up over here. Gotta watch out for this spider guy here. He's a pain. Swap to the Earth Breath. Wall jump up here. Earth Breath that guy to knock him down. Do it again, just to make sure he doesn't get out in the way. Swap back to the Dark Breath. Up here. Fantastic. Now some really, like, fine movement. So anyway, coming up to this section here is Naga. Naga is normally a pain because you need to, like, you can only attack it when its shield's not up, and then when its shield's down, you need to attack the shield, but eventually like, you break through the shield. With Dark, we can just kind of get hit. Oh, come on. I need to knock him back a bit. There we go. Collecting all the blue gems allows us to finish that level. That's Naga out of the way. I promise there will be more involved bosses. But in a way, Dark can be a lot of fun compared to difficulty like Easy. Whereas Easy, you will find a few one-cycles here and there for bosses. But they'll be like really tough, usually kind of RNG dependent. Because they'll be dependent on like a bunch of like tiny enemies flying around or something. Whereas in Dark difficulty, there's only one RNG one cycle. I think this is where I need to go. Do I? No. No, that's not where I need to go. I keep confusing this room with like the next room because they're identical. Every room on this ship is identical. Oh, just want to get up here. Fantastic, melee combo improved. Wall jump up here to skip that whole climbing section over there. Take care of that dog. Okay, and here's our first arena. We have one frogweed and two big boys to take care of. So this game treats Dark difficulty like normal difficulty, but with Dark Spyro. And on normal difficulty, those guys just kind of jump down. I don't really have anything to worry about. Oh, heck. I thought they were dead. You're not dead. Oh man, that... The relic normally falls like straight above. Missed it there quite significantly. Oh well. Anyway, on to the Temple of Ice. Third of the elemental breaths that we're going to be picking up here. Swapping to the Earth Breath because it allows us to knock out most of these enemies. The enemies that don't deal knockback damage to you, but that only deal knockback damage to you, but no physical damage, are usually just one-hit KOs. So it's super easy to get through them with the Earth Breath. And it knocks them down as well, which means we can get through super easily. Like that. So swapping to the Ice Breath here. That's a lie. We need the Elemental Breath. Nope, I'm wrong again. It's the Earth Breath. Keeping you all on your toes. We come down here. I keep forgetting about this section. We need to knock that guy out the way. Come up here. This is going to give us increased defense. Not that it matters when we have infinite health, but oh well. Anyway, now we swap to the Ice Breath. I was just thinking about any percent before. Because one thing you do with Ice Breath is freeze ponds of water, which is pretty cool. Now, normally ice is super slippery. However, I'm going to bring up the Ice Breath here. Freeze that little pond. Means we can get there only in one jump. Super nice. I always forget that Golem's there because he's impossible to see. But now we've got Piercing Claws, which means we do not slip on the ice. We can just kind of walk through this now. This boss here, normally the hardest boss in the game, I would say. He is just an absolute pain. We can take him out without really any difficulty. Very nice. After this, we have one heck of a walk. We need to head up to the Earth Temple, which is the furthest we ever need to walk in the temple. Because we need to come all the way over here to the stairs, then all the way back up. Come over here, fall down, ice breath. Right, a tiny fly landed on my DS there. Alright, there we go. Back to the arena. We've got 3 relics to pick up here. And we'll get another one for beating this here. It'll unlock us the rage meter. Unfortunately, rage is, although an extremely powerful mechanic in this game, is an incredibly slow mechanic. Should be him dead. I hope? No, not dead. What do you mean not dead? This guy takes like 5 hits. There we go. That's what was meant to happen last time with the other relic. We've got the hover that we need to pick up here, but first off, we have the first fight against the advisor. Here we just kind of chase him with the Dark Breath. I've tried a few different strategies against him over time, doing a few different combos, but this is objectively the best way to do him. There we go. Nice and quick fight. Okay, let's go. We need to come up here. No, don't want to fall, thank you. That would be a long fall. Though this is the hover ability, I hate the hover ability. It only ever gets in the way. It basically means I can just kind of like suspend myself in the air. But it's a really inconvenient mapping on the controller. Where it is literally just whenever you press up on the D-pad in the air, which I sometimes do by accident. But anyway, we're coming up here now. Because we have one relic that we need here. We're going to be coming back to almost this exact same spot later, but we're just going to pick that up here. Once again, watching out for these parrots. Do no damage, but knockback city. Okay, here's the only boss in the game with a random 1 cycle. So there's going to be a parrot flying around eventually. If the parrot flies in front of my breath attack, then we don't get a 1 cycle. Yes. No way. Just not quite fast enough with that. There we go. It was just like literally 2 more attacks I needed. I was pretty slow with my first attack. But anyway, that's Scab over and done with. onto our final elemental temple here. Now, this temple is kind of the difference between why all relics is such a miscellaneous thing to do. Because this game does have a 100% category, which is also getting all the relics. So what's the difference? Well, each of Spyro's 4 elemental breath attacks can be upgraded twice, using XP gems, the blue ones. You've probably seen a few every now and then. 100% is not only getting all the dragon relics, but upgrading all of the elemental breaths twice each. It requires a lot, and I mean a lot, of XP. Normally, 100%, you would spend about an hour in this level alone collecting experience points. That is why all relics is actually kind of interesting, because you don't need to do that. Anyway, don't need the electric brass anymore. You just kind of do this. So, in a sense, all relics is pretty much just better 100%. There's our third that we needed to pick up. Lightning elemental here. Actually, it's possible to one-cycle this boss on easy difficulty, but it's super difficult. And a little RNG dependent. On dark, it's free. There we go. Going on to our final elemental temple revisit, we need to take one more trip back to the Ice Temple. Don't go in there, even though it looks nice and shiny. That was the Holofang Claw. Pull down here, get the attack. You'll also notice that Spyro kind of like, whenever I do a melee attack on someone, he kind of has that look of the element. That was one of the first optional things I got for the 15-hit combo. I don't think I split there, do I? Okay, Celestial Temple. We have 4 things to pick up here, so we are going to be pretty busy. First off, we need the Ice Breath. And there's like 1,000,001 enemies that want us to, like, fly for miles, pretty much. Especially these flies. These flies are the worst. There we go. Electric Breath to get through here. And now we need to go back to Earth Breath to get up here. Switch back to Dark for a moment. And then back to Ice to get through a random ice door here. Back to Dark. To be able to get through this place pretty quickly. Wall jump to get up here. Nope. Come on. I'm not close enough to the wall. There we go. Just imagine I did that the first try and that would have been really cool. Down here. Get past the snail. Okay, he's not letting me past. Well, back over to ice for one last time. There's a pool of water we need to cross up here. That's given us the ability to climb walls, which you'll have seen a few points in the run so far where it looks like there was a wall we should have climbed, and that's what that's all for. Fortunately, we're kind of lucky with unlucky with these spawns. Normally, the snail's always meant to spawn there, but normally he doesn't. Anyway, second advisor fight here. Exact same strategy as before. Breath chase, breath chase. Should be good. So there's an energy increase. And now we need to do the revisits. So now that we have the ability to climb walls, now we need to go back to every single level with a climbable wall that we couldn't have skipped previously. So we're starting off the Ancient Grove here. This just has one thing that we need to pick up. And there's a few levels with some things other than just climbing walls that we're going to be doing at the same time. But usually it's in a level where we'd have had to revisit it anyway, in addition to also needing to climb the wall. Nice, took care of most of those guys. Face this way so he can't knock me down. Perfect. Onto the Deep Grove. Two things to pick up here, both pretty much near the end. In fact, I know that's a complete lie, one of them's right here. I'm getting this confused with another level. And we just come along here. Once again, this place sucks because the fly is. That's like the perfect amount you want to be knocked down. But we use the electric breath to open this door. This room is the worst room, like ever. It's just like there's no space to like properly manage your wall jumps, pretty much. Come on. There we go. That's what I wanted to do all along, was that too much to ask? But yeah, we used our wall jump there. However, there's one more that we need to collect near the end of this section. But it does mean we need to go through the egg once more. There we go. Go back to fire. Back to Earth, and then over to ice. You might remember the section from before. We are going to cross it. And that fly played so nicely. Not a single hit. Let's go. Onto the arena. Two more things to pick up here. One is climbing up this little chain. You can actually get this one early, but there's not a real reason to, because you need to revisit this level anyway. So back over to Dark Breath. Wasn't meant to come over here, but this works. Anyway, we're back to the arena. We have one more thing to pick up here, and it's going to be all the way outside as well. Well, you gotta see a new section, because before we went up and over this bit. There we go. This game very much seems very maze-like, but a lot of the rooms are a lot smaller than they seem. Anyway, here we are. And if you remember last time we were here, we got to the bottom of a mask, got a power-up, and then walked away. Now, we're actually going to climb up the mast, because that's something we can do with the power-up. No way! Oh, no way. I was really hoping that I would fall in a pit there. It would just respawn me up here, but oh well. At least the enemies are gone. There we go. For this, we go to Temple Sanctum. For our last 2 relics of the game. Go up the stairs here. I went to the wrong elemental breath. Very nice. There's our first. We have a tough jump here, so hopefully the enemies don't get in our way. Very nice. Sometimes you can get unlucky and there'll be like a fly flying around there. We need to walk to the Earth Breath here for our final relic. Gonna be down a hole here. How was he not dead yet? There we go. Anyway, that should be every single one of the relics. We've got 2 more bosses to defeat after that. Nothing more to collect. What we're going to do to confirm that we got everything is just before we fight the final boss, we are going to save the game, and then once the run's over, we're going to come back and then double check. Lots of text. Into the Wall of Night. So this is the second to last boss. Guess who? Advisor, round 3. Yeet. There we go. So that's the final advisor boss done. As I mentioned, we're going to be saving the game. Just in case anything goes wrong. But we are coming to the last boss here. Whoever is going to be doing time, be just kind of ready for the next minute. So this is Gaul. Gaul normally has 2 phases. On normal difficulty, also in dark, he has 3 phases. However, what happens is, between each of the phases, he heals back to full health. So you get him down to like 10%, and then he heals back to full. 10%, then he heals back to full, then you can kill him. However, if you infinite combo him from any of those, he will never have time to actually perform the heal. So what we do here is we're going to bring him down to just under half health. And then as long as he doesn't touch the floor, he can't use his move. So we've just skipped 2 phases of the final boss. Now we do story stuff. This is normally when Spyro actually turns into Dark Spyro, the form that we've been using the whole run. And time is going to be coming up when... So we're going to defeat Gaul one last time, and then we've got like a barrage of enemies. And time is when we're done with the barrage of enemies. What I'm doing here is constantly attacking the wall that enemies spawn, so I get them pretty much frame 1. And then also turning around to shoot these guys in the back. There we go, time. So the estimate's a little higher just because we also now need to turn the game off, turn the game back on again, and recheck that we did everything. So let me get the list of relics. That is also a PB. Not that I've done many runs of All Relic Dark, but I do allow 100%. This just seemed like a fun submission because it's just 100% without the boring hour of gameplay. That's an All Relics PB. I'll take it. Anyway, normally Cinder comes over, calms down Spyro. And they're like, oh no, everything's falling apart. And the Chronicler's like, lol, I cannot help you. You all got yourself into this mess. Thanks for the GG, guys. Anyway, so Spyro freezes himself a crystal, asks anyone who's kind of like played at the end of Eternal Night. On any version, this is pretty much the same. And you'll get a teaser for the next game. Who's this tiger? Is he a tiger?
I think he's a cheetah, I want to say.
Yeah, cheetah makes a little more sense. Please ignore the fact that I just said tiger. Thank you. Okay, so I'm just going to take 2 moments
awesome.
here just to restart the game, So we saved just before the final boss. I'll just go through the abilities list real quick just to confirm that we did get everything. Because unfortunately there's no in-game notification, but if there's anything you're wanting to say, you can do that whilst I'm going through this.
Alright, well, the only thing we're going to be doing right after this is we're going to quickly transition after he shows us all the abilities. We're going to transition over to a Season of Ice, a beat the game with cheats run. It'll take about another couple minutes, so it's really fun to watch, apparently. It's really, really hype and just, like, instantaneous, so looking forward to that right after we see all these abilities.
Okay, we have double jump, glide, air launch attack, charge attack, wall jump, air dive, dragon fury, mid-air charge attack, hover, wall climb, slide attack, 3 melee combos, 2 air combos, elemental melee, piercing, raging, melee damage twice, increased defense versus spikes, physical and non-physical attacks, 4 breath attacks, 10 health upgrades, and 10 energy upgrades. Yep, that's everything. That's every single relic. So thank you all for watching.
Of the run.
Thanks. So after this, I believe we're doing a quick intermission and then coming back to Season of Ice.
Is that correct, Phoenix? Are we doing a quick intermission, or are we kind of just jumping right into it?
We can
I
do
think
it.
we're gonna take like
Very
a
quick
minute or
intermission.
two.
Just a minute or two, yeah.
Yeah. So we'll hop into that, and then we'll see you guys in Season of Ice in just a couple minutes.